What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Pub Sports Radio Baseball Show. My name is Jose Bouquet, and of course, alongside me is my good friend Andrew Santangelo. Andrew, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well, very well. Nice, busy week, but it's Friday, and what better way to end the week than talk baseball? With you?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time, but let's get right into it, Andrew, because we've got a kind of chunky show today. You're a busy man; you've got places to be, and the people want to know about this Francisco Lindor trade. Andrew, this is the talk of the town. This is the only thing we can start off with. This is the baseball news of the offseason so far, in a very slow offseason. Francisco Lindor gets traded to the New York Metropolitans, the New York Steve Cohens. Uncle Cohen gets his guy. Francisco Lindor goes to the Mets, and alongside with Cookie Carrasco, for Ahmed Rosario, Andres Jimenez, Josh Wolf, and Isaiah Green. A cheap price for a superstar in the likes of Lindor, arguably the best shortstop in baseball. He's incredible. He is a guy that immediately puts you on the map. He's that guy. He's the face of the franchise, and I love this. This is fun. This is it's Andrew. Here's a hot take, Andrew. Baseball is more fun when teams are trying to win.
Isn't that every sport? Is there,
A
how,
hot,
how much of a hot take is that?
super hot take in baseball nowadays, apparently.
Hey, like you said, it was a nice cheap deal for him. I don't know how they swung this deal, to be honest. You get arguably, like you said, the best shortstop in the game on top of getting Carlos Carrasco, which is just an unbelievable move there by the Mets. As a Mets hater, it's painful to see them make this kind of move for such little price, and then now you see that rotation. They kind of building out there, and obviously, I think Syndergaard's going to be out for the whole year, but you still have.
Syndergaard's back.
Is it back? Somebody told me he was still hurt.
The Syndergaard's back this year. No.
Okay.
I mean, he's made of glass, obviously, so he might be hurt already. But as of right now, he's supposed to pitch.
Okay. But you got DeGrom, Stroman, Carrasco now, and then obviously Noah Syndergaard, depending on how long he lasts. So it's good. They built a nice rotation out there. We'll see if their bullpen's able to hold up. But now they have a great offense too. I mean, you mix Francisco Lindor in there with Pete Alonso. I mean, it's going to be an incredible stage. They already signed James McCann, so this I don't want to sit here and say they're done because I'm sure you've seen the Chris Bryant rumors now that they're in deep talks with the Cubs for Chris Bryant. So they might add another bat on top of that. But this has put together a very, very, very successful offseason for him to at least come in second and probably get a wild card spot.
Yeah, it's just teams. It's just fun. This is what we all were waiting for. I'm really enjoying this, honestly. There's a picture going around. MLB Network put up their defensive alignment, and as of right now, we've got Dom Smith in left, Brandon Nimmo in center, who easily could turn into George Springer because they're still in that sweepstakes. Andrew,
Yes.
people might forget, but they're still definitely in on that. They have Marco Conforto in right field, who's been up and down, but I mean he's been a good bat from time to time, and he definitely has the potential to go out there and do his thing on a winning team. Jeff McNeil's awesome. I'm a big Jeff McNeil guy, and it's hilarious that he's across the diamond now, or he's middle infield partners with Francisco Lindor, two exactly opposite people in my head. Then we got JD Davis at third base, who now, according to you, Andrew's breaking this news. Could be Chris.
Did you not see it?
No, I did not see it. Honestly, I did not see it. You just broke that news to me. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, they're in talks. They're in talks for Chris
When
Bryant.
yeah, I was too busy prepping for the show into this break.
I believe a good friend in our baseball chat sent the message early today. I think probably around noonish, maybe 11.
Okay, well, we'll see what that happens.
But yeah, I'd be very concerned if they find a way to swing that deal.
It'd be really funny. James McCann also is a great catcher too, but I honestly I was looking at this and I was like, man, this offense isn't that good yet. But like you said, they're not done. I think that they easily could get Springer because Steve Cohen's got all this money and I'm glad he's throwing that around. So he could easily get Springer, and who knows? They've been in deep talks with DJ LeMahieu. I mean, DJ could be going there. I want the Mets to just steer into the skid. Just get DJ, get Springer, get fucking
Stop.
or two.
You
That'd be
trying to kill me?
that'd be awesome. I want to see it. I need to see a team go out here and try to win, and the Mets doing so is pretty fun to watch. And like I read down here that Andrew, you know how good this team is right now, Andrew. If they stopped right here, you said a second place in a wild card berth, no chance to win the division if they just halted at this moment.
If they halted at this moment, I'd still have to put the Braves over them. I mean, Braves go out, get Charlie Morton. They're bringing back was Ian Anderson after that great year. I mean, they already have a solid. I think they'll have Mike Soroka back for the start of the year, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So they'll get deeper. That either way, whether he misses the start of the year, he should be back fairly early, maybe like May.
Yeah.
Who do you
think their is better, Andrew? Because you mentioned some of the Braves arm, but we've got DeGrom, Stroman, Thor, Cookie Carrasco, and maybe Steven Matz rounding out the back end.
I still got to lean Braves. There's question marks for me around Stroman. He sat out the entire last year. How's that going to affect him? He's kind of been up and down. I mean, he's playing your division. He's been up and down with the Blue Jays. He's pretty good for the most part, but he is up and down starts. And then same thing with Thor. I mean, yeah, as good as he can be, will he stay healthy? How long is he going to stay healthy? Steven Matz, I mean, it's a pretty solid 5-starter, but I think if you're looking at number one starter wise, yes, it goes to the Mets with DeGrom. But I think top to bottom rotation, I give a slight edge to the Braves.
Okay. Well, the Mets are definitely the talk of the town. I mean, like I said, this trade's ridiculous. Andrew, I don't want to say this lightly, but it's the infield version of the Mookie Betts trade. It's the same.
I don't disagree.
It's essentially the same move, and they even threw in the good pitcher to fill in the David Price role too. It's great. Yeah. It's a super cheap price too. Ahmed Rosario was a decent shortstop. Andres Jimenez had a 1.1 WAR in 49 games last year. Josh Wolf is the number 9 prospect for the Mets, and Isaiah Green is number 10 prospect for the Mets. So it still sucks to be an Indians fan today. I can't wrap my head around it, even though I lived that whole process. But at least the Red Sox got Alex Verdugo. Verdugo is like a top prospect. This is nothing.
Well, imagine being like you said. I think you sent me the picture with what? There's 2 guys left from that 17 Cleveland Indians team.
Yeah, crazy. 2 guys left, and they just can't do it. But I shout out to the Mets. I hope they do continue signing people. It'll be interesting to see how they keep going. Let's move on to our next topic here, Andrew. And I think I need to do a little bit of screen sharing here because we lost a legend. Tommy Lasorda died today, I believe. Correct, Andrew?
Correct. 93 years old.
Yeah, he had lived a very long life. All-time baseball personality. We're going to play this minute clip here. If you guys never heard it, I just listened to it and I thought it was hilarious. We can get into his accolades at another time, honestly. Like you said, he literally just died today, so I wasn't really prepared to talk Tommy Lasorda. But, I just think we need to listen to this clip in memory of Tommy real quick.
Yeah, we'll save the deep talks for Tuesday, the beginning of Tuesday's show.
Yeah, we'll talk about his career fully later. But this was a reporter came up to him because apparently a batter on the Padres, whose name I can't remember at the moment. I guess his name's Kurt, and I can't say his last name, but you'll hear it definitely in the clip. He accused the Dodgers of throwing at him intentionally, and he called Tommy Lasorda like a short, fat Italian. And he said that he should get fined for telling the pitcher to throw at the batter. And this was Tommy's response, and I think people will enjoy it.
Tell you what I think about it. I think that is very, very bad for that man to make an accusation like that. That is terrible. I have never, ever, since I've managed, ever told a pitcher to throw anybody nor will I ever.
Yeah. Never.
Never.
And if I ever did, I certainly wouldn't make him throw at a fucking 130 hitter like LaFay or fucking Bavacqua, who could hit water if he fell out of a fucking boat.
Fucking Bavacqua.
And I guarantee you this, when I pitched, and I was going to pitch against a fucking team that had guys on it like Bavacqua, I sent a fucking limousine to get the cocksucker to make sure he was in the motherfucking lineup, because I kicked that cocksucker's ass any fucking day in a week. He's a fucking motherfucking big mouth, I'll tell you that.
And that's Tommy Lasorda right there in all his glory. I mean, I think that sums up Tommy Lasorda very well, right there. You know, fiery, great manager, great personality.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's a guy that always went out there, and he had interactions too with fans and mascots, and he's got a lot of fun videos out there. It just showed his personality, like you said, and how much he meant to that organization. And I saw Dave Roberts' quote on it today. I don't know if you saw that, but he said it's on us now to live his legacy and truly show what he's meant to baseball. And I think that's absolutely right. Like, I think obviously he's put the mark on for a lot of people, and it's up to everyone to kind of remember it that way.
Yeah, you're right, Andrew, there. I couldn't agree with you more. Shout out to the Dodgers for at least winning a World Series before he died. So I'm glad that he got to see that at least.
Yeah, that's exactly what Sam said when we were texting about it.
Yep, there you go. Shout out to Sam as always. All right, let's move on because we're introducing a new little segment here, Andrew. Little, you know, I feel like in every other sport, there's always talks about, like, you know, the GOATs, the greatest of all time, the best players, yada yada yada. We hear the LeBron talk, we hear about Jordan. We get all Brady's the GOAT in football. We get it all.
Is he?
Yeah. Baseball's weird, you know, Andrew. I don't feel like, you know, there is that one, you know, just go-to figure, just like in hockey with Wayne Gretzky. There's not that guy. When you think greatest baseball player of all time, you know, you have a myriad of people to come in your head, and you know, we're gonna start breaking that down, Andrew. I want to come to a conclusion at the end of this little journey here. I want to come to the conclusion of who do we think the greatest baseball player of all time is. But we will start first, Andrew. We're going to start positionally. We're going to break it down first. We'll go through each position. We'll start at catcher, go through each position, talk about 5 or 6, maybe a couple more of the greatest players in that position, and then we'll definitively, you know, give us like a top 3. We'll give a top 3 at the end. Like I said, today we'll start with catchers. You know, I think that's a great place to start. Unheralded guy. I think we know a lot of these names. You know, they're all time. We've heard about them. We've seen them, Andrew, and I think it'll be fun to talk about these guys.
Absolutely. Is catcher your favorite position? Is that why we're starting with it?
No, catcher is not my favorite position. No, I as a left-handed person, I was always discriminated against, and I never got to catch. So. But I did catch a lot though, just because I always asked to. It was fun. I love catching. Catching's a good time.
Okay, what is your favorite position as we start this positional rankings?
Pitcher, of course.
Pitcher?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What about you, Andrew?
First base.
Well, that's pretty lame.
I couldn't play it that much, but first and third were always my favorite.
I hated playing first base, so shout out to me.
Why?
You know, I just did not like it. You know, you always have to clean up after everyone else's mistakes. I don't need a fucking. Our shortstop got drafted by the Astros, so he's throwing fucking heat to me, and I'm just like, no, man, I'm all right. I don't need this. I don't need to fucking be catching. That's why I wanted to be a pitcher. Much more easier. You get to control everything. It's a good time. Well, let's move on. Let's move on from that. I have a couple catchers. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 catchers here for you, Andrew. I wrote down some of their career achievements, and we'll go through it. This first session might be a little bit of me just talking. So strap in, Andrew. I'll ask for your thoughts, maybe some quick thoughts about each player, and then we'll go through the overview. You ready, Andrew?
I'm always ready.
All right. So first, these are in no particular order, but first we'll start off with the modern selection of this crew. My modern pick Number 1 is Buster Posey, Andrew. You've heard of Buster Posey, correct?
Maybe once.
Let's get a little introduction to Buster Posey, Andrew. We've got a little audio here if the computer and everyone want to cooperate for me. Buster Posey, all-time catcher in my book, led the Giants, face of that franchise. Here's Buster Posey doing some good things. Let's see it. Let's hear it. No, we're not going to play. We're not playing today, Andrew. We're not playing today.
Nah, technology never works when you need it, right?
Oh, hold on. I got it. Here we go. That's our good friend Joe Buck there.
The potential MVP of the regular season and the comeback player of the year has put the Giants on top 3-2 in the 6th.
That is Buster Posey's home run in Game 4 of the World Series against the Detroit Tigers. That was against Max Scherzer, young Max Scherzer.
Young Max Scherzer.
Two-run home run to put them up and eventually give them the win, clinching a World Series sweep. Buster Posey, like I said, arguably the best catcher of our generation. He has been the face of the franchise for the Giants. 2012 NL MVP, 6-time All-Star. Also, a fun fact, best catcher in college award. That is called the Buster Posey Award now, Andrew. 2010 World Series champion in his second year in the majors. 2012, and he won the MVP that year. 2014 World Series as well. 2011, we all remember Buster breaking his leg in that home plate collision. You should, if you don't remember that, go watch it. You'll remember that was basically the end of an era right there. That changed catcher collisions forever. After that point, I think they call it the Buster Posey rule now as well. So that era ended. Comeback Player of the Year in 2012. After that, also won the MVP 2012, I believe. Yeah, NL MVP 2012. Along with the Comeback Player of the Year after breaking his leg. Also got that World Series, like we said. In 2013, he signed an 8-year, $167 million deal and won. He's only won 1 Gold Glove, Andrew, surprisingly enough.
That is surprising.
1 Gold Glove in 2016. His career is still going. 2020, he opted out for COVID reasons. But as of right now, he sits at 41.8 WAR, which is 16th all time, 140 home runs, a 302 batting average, which is good for 7th all time for catchers, and 673 RBIs, which is good for 50th all time for catchers. Obviously, Buster Posey doesn't have the body of work that the other catchers do. Buster, honestly, in 2019, when his last season was playing, he became more of a first baseman too. And with Joey Berra coming in, this will probably see the last of Posey catching. But I feel like his name needed to be in here because, 3 World Series, caught the perfect game in 2012 off of Matt Cain, no-hitter off of Tim Lincecum, a no-hitter off of Chris Heston in 15. I just think Buster Posey is probably the best catcher of this recent modern generation, and I think his name definitely deserves to be in this consideration,
Yeah, absolutely. He's a catcher that got it done on both ends. As you mentioned, he won a Gold Glove. I think the reason why he hasn't had more is because of a guy named Yadier Molina.
Yeah.
He probably stole 1 or 2, maybe 1 or 2 from Buster there.
Yeah, he has a couple.
But no, yeah, I think I don't know. I think he's arguably one of the better catchers of this era. It kind of depends on where you start that and everything. I definitely say he's one of the best of our lifetimes, that's for sure. But unfortunately, like you said, he got injured. Imagine what this guy could have did if he didn't get injured. Because obviously the injury has an effect on you at some point. Obviously he didn't drop off dramatically, but obviously you missed a lot of time there in that sense and all that. Plus, I don't know, did you say batting title? I don't remember you saying that, but
no, I didn't. He definitely has a batting title.
Yeah, for catcher winning a batting title, I mean that's pretty good in itself. Mm-hmm. He won that in 2012. That was actually his first All-Star game.
Yeah, that was MVP year. That was his peak. That's prime peak Buster Posey right there.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, actually, that year was the year back after the injury.
Yeah, that's when he won comeback player of the year that year. So shout out to him. I mean, definitely deserving to be on this list. So I think I'm glad that we put him in there. Shout out to you, Buster Posey. And by the way, he's one of only 10 catchers. No, one of 11 catchers now, I believe. 11 catchers to ever win the MVP award. So shout out to him. We'll talk about some of those other people here coming up. Next on this list, I have Carlton Fisk. Andrew, Carlton Fisk. This is where we would have our ominous noise of his whatever he did, but we already heard it. Actually, we did a whole episode on basically Carlton Fisk and his home run. He has the most famous home run in Red Sox history, so shout out to him there. In the oh my god, I forgot the year already. I have it written down. Sorry, my iPad's dead. So I'm out here like turning back around, doing the whole thing. But Carlton Fisk, a Hall of Famer, 1972 Rookie of the Year, unanimously voted. All-Star in 1972, 1973, 74, 76 through 78, 80 through 82, 85, and 91. That's 11 times if you're counting at home. Gold Glove in 72. He had a knee injury in 1974, Andrew, and the doctor said that he would not play ever again. He went ahead and did not listen to them and come back. He came back in 12 months. Not a big deal. In 1975, he batted .417 in the ALCS to sweep the three-time World Series champion Oakland A's at that point. That was the year that they went to the World Series in 1975. He has the home run where he's waving the ball fair. We all know that home run. We heard the call as well. Like I said, most famous home run in Red Sox history, I think. Here's another funny thing, which I think would be funny if something like this happened nowadays. Boston's general manager, after the 1980 season, he sent him his contract via mail, like right after the season was over, so they can like if he can re-sign and whatnot. But after the season, Andrew, I don't know if you know this, you become a free agent. Who would have thought? So he became a free agent and didn't sign his contract, and then went to the White Sox, who paid him for $3.5 million. Career, he had 376 home runs, which is third all-time for catchers. 2,356 home hits, which is third all-time for catchers. 1,330 RBIs, sixth all-time for catchers, and a 68.4 WAR, which is fourth all-time for Carlton Fisk. By the way, he was Pudge before Pudge, so I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but he was given the nickname Pudge, and then another player on this list just happened to take it.
I did not realize he was called Pudge. I'll be honest there. I didn't. I guess that has to be a compliment.
Yeah, it has to be, right? Just call him fat. That's basically what it is. But
I guess.
Pudgy, yeah.
Well, yeah, but you look at a picture of him. He's not. It's not fat.
Yeah, that's the life of a professional athlete. There. All right. Do you have any Carlton Fisk comments before we move on here?
I mean, I don't know if outside of obviously the World Series game, I've looked at some of his highlights before. He's a guy you truly wish that he was a guy that was able to play in our lifetime, and we were able to watch him, especially at the catcher position. Because I mean, obviously you went through Buster, and there's another handful of guys, but I feel like catcher's a spot that, as I went through this preparing for the show, a lot of the greatest catchers of all time were older catchers.
Yeah,
not necessarily close.
Yeah, the catcher position has changed so much. Modern times we're more delicate about knees. There's more platoons. We have two catcher systems, and there's not catchers anymore that hit like these guys do. They're really the closest guy we have is JT.
And then the longevity of his career too. I mean, the play for 24 years. I mean, and plus the injury, obviously coming back from that, but the play for 24 years, from 69 to 93. That's just incredible in itself too, especially at the catcher position.
Yeah.
So that shows you what kind of a battle player he was.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next guy here. Let's hear some audio from him.
There's a high drive to deep right center. That one is going, and it is gone in the upper deck. A tremendous drive on a high outside pitch by Johnny Bench. I was just about
Yep.
to say that Blue doesn't give up any homers either.
That's Vita Blue for you guys keeping at home.
On the hard-throwing fastball pitcher like Vita Blue or a Koufax or any other hard thrower, a pitch high and almost in the eyes of Johnny.
Yeah, that's that man. The man who I guess I would call him the favorite to win this. It is Johnny Bench. He is he was, I guess he was the leader of the Big Red Machine. He won back-to-back World Series, and let's see, this is gonna be annoying as hell. We're gonna just have to work this out here. Also.
You want me to finish his accolades, or you got it?
I got it. Ooh,
There.
I'm on 2%, but we'll work it out. He won an MVP in 70 and 72, 6 division titles, 4 NL pennants, 2 World Series in 75 and 76, World Series MVP in 1976, Rookie of the Year in 1968, 10-time Gold Glover in 1968 through 1977, 14-time All-Star from 1968 to 1980 and 83. He was the MLB All-Century team catcher. He was on the MLB All-Time team catcher. And if that all doesn't convince you of arguments here, Ted Williams called him a Hall of Famer after his rookie year and signed a ball for him as he wrote future Hall of Famer on it. His career WAR 75.2 is the best among catchers. 389 home runs is second amongst catchers. 1,376 RBIs is third. 267 batting average lifetime. An 817 OPS and 2,048 hits for Mr. Bench. He truly was the benchmark, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I'm going to say spoiler, but I think it's no spoiler depending on how well you know baseball. But he's probably easily going to be the favorite to win this one for best catcher of all time. There's nobody can really go up against his accolades, whether it was defensively or on offense. To win 10 Gold Gloves on top of all the offensive statistics he put up. And again, I'm going to say it again. It shows you kind of how the game's changed from this position. You look at guys now, as you already mentioned, outside a handful of guys, you really only get a one-way catcher. They're either really good at hitting with a questionable defense or fantastic defense and questionable at hitting. And this is a guy that just went out there and did both. And on top of that, it wasn't even just contact. He's able to hit home runs. 1970, he leads the league in RBIs and he leads the league in home runs, and he still hits for 293 and goes to the All-Star game, obviously. So this guy was just incredible. He's honestly one of my dad's favorite players. Told me stories about him growing up, and that's why it was my dad's favorite position as to be a catcher when he played baseball. And it just shows you what kind of guy and leader he was to not only his teammates and everything, and as you said, the Big Red Machine, but to fans as well.
Yeah, he's a stud. I'm glad he's still around. Led that machine, great with pitchers. Overall, just incredible. Just incredible. He's the total package when it comes to catching. Next, Andrew. Next. But he might not be number one. We still have a ways to go. We've got some guys to talk about. Maybe this is actually a fight for number 2. Who knows? Next, Andrew. I don't know if we have a Mets theme. This is a one Gary Carter, Andrew. Gary Carter. Let's take a listen.
The 2-2 pitch. And this one drill to left. It's way back. Going. It is gone. Goodbye. A 3-run home run by Gary Carter.
Yes. That is Gary Carter. We mentioned the Mets earlier, and the Mets have a tradition of getting these catchers, these elite catchers. One Gary Carter, man. I was impressed when I looked at the numbers here. We've got a 70.1 WAR, which is second all time, 2,092 hits, 9th all time, 324 home runs, 5th, a 262 batting average, 773 OPS, and 1,225 RBIs, which is second amongst catchers. He also has a defensive WAR of 26.1, which is second best amongst all catchers of all time. So you can make an argument that he is the second best defensive catcher of all time. 11-time All-Star in 75 and then through 79 through 88. One of the most dramatic World Series ever. He participated in the 86 World Series, the Miracle Mets. That is the last time the Mets won the World Series. Very famous team. Everyone loves them. Bill Buckner, all that jam. Unfortunately, he was the kid before the kid. Andrew, I don't know if you know this, but Gary Carter used to be called the Kid. That was one of his nicknames because he looked like a little baby. So I labeled him the Kid as before the kid. He also started the comeback against the Red Sox in Game 6. He was a single with 2 outs, and in belief, I mean, he must have been the game-winning run if they didn't pitch run for him. So he must have scored the running run there. One of 4 Mets captains ever, Andrew. Only 4 captains in Mets history. He's one of them. In 1980, Andrew, he had 29 home runs, 101 RBIs, and he came in second in MVP. And he caught Charlie Lee's no in May 10th. I don't even write a year. I don't know why I didn't write a year, but I caught a no as well. Gary Carter walked the walk, talked the talk, did his thing. Great offensive catcher. Again, we have this list for a reason. Gary Carter is a machine and could be a top 5 catcher in any list.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's a guy that really isn't mentioned a whole lot. Like when you think of the greatest catchers, and obviously we'll get into more names, but like honestly, like how many times do you hear, like obviously being big baseball fans and know the research for the show, we find his name and everything and know him. But like how many times do you really hear about Gary Carter? Like that. And that's what's a shame because like when you look at him, he is one of the best catchers of all time. If there wasn't a guy named Johnny Bench, he probably would have been the best catcher of that era, or not era of that time.
And he's gigantic too, built. If you watching his home run videos, gigantic man, just so thick.
You could see where the power comes from.
Yeah, he's a stud.
But no, yeah, it's just he's another guy that you like if you think about it, like looking at this is almost to me compares to like the outfielder position or the shortstop position where we have all these names of who's the best player of the league. Like back in the day, like think about it, you're looking at Carlton Fisk, Johnny Bench, and now Gary Carter in that time period. It's just not it's funny how it's not the same now, but he also won 2 All-Star MVPs, and to see how good he was, to see how he played for like multiple different teams, like that was one surprising thing to me. I don't know if that caught your attention too.
Yeah, I did a little bit of digging, and he was a big Mets Expos guy. I mean, I would say probably one of the greatest Expos, if not the greatest Expo of all time. Played a bunch of seasons there. I don't have the number in front of me. If you have
12
years on Expos.
12 Expos, 5 Mets, 1 Dodgers, and then 1 Giants. It's funny. He played all in the same division as rivals. You definitely don't see that now.
It's funny. So yeah, he went to the Expos, did his thing, and then they had to trade him because of salary demands, which was eerily similar to what we're seeing now with Lindor. He gets traded to the Mets and just balls out, does his thing, gets that coveted World Series.
Yeah, and another thing I read on him was, and you already mentioned how good of a defender he was, but I also read he had it's believed he had probably had one of the better catching arms in the game. Like even now, like they say, the strength of his arm was just incredible.
His defensive WAR is second all time, 26.1. I mean, it's that high for a reason, fellas. He could be easily the second best defensive catcher of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's and by the way, he also managed personalities like Doc Gooden as a pitching staff, so that needs to be emphasized. I completely skipped over this. We were supposed to talk about some traits that we would want in our catchers, but we'll talk about them at the end.
I thought that's coming afterwards.
Yeah, we'll talk about it at the end. Next, Andrew. I think for a time, his name. I think a lot of people might know this person as well, almost as famous as Babe Ruth, I would say. It is the living legend, who is, I don't think he's alive anymore, actually, but the legend Yogi Berra.
One away in the seventh. Berra bats for catcher Robert. He slams Bradford's pitch over the scoreboard in right field for the first pitching home run in World Series history. A high drive, that's trouble. It's an even up game. And Yogi Berra outside high over the screen and into Preston Avenue, and the ball game begins.
Yeah, Yogi Berra. You heard that correctly, by the way. First pinch hit home run ever in a World Series. Yogi's trophy case is large, Andrew. It's large. Let's strap yourself in for this, Andrew, because this might take a while. Mr. Yogi Berra, 18-time All-Star from 1948 to 1962. 13-time World Series champion, Andrew. Yes, you heard me. 13 times. 47, 49 through 53, 56, 58, 61, 62, 69, 77, and 78. His first World Series was in 1947, and his last one was in 1978. Andrew, can you do some quick math for me and tell me what the difference in those years are, please? I'd love to know. Thank you.
That is, would you say 47 to 78, correct?
Yes.
That is 31 years.
That's, yeah. Hey,
that's right.
That's pretty good.
Okay, I looked like you were going to question my math there.
No, I'm like, no, you're right. That's just like, you have to wrap your mind around that for a second.
It's incredible.
Three-time AL MVP, 51, 54, 55, a Hall of Famer in the 1972 class. His career stats, 1,430 RBIs. That is most all-time for a catcher. 358 home runs, fourth all-time, 2,150 hits, sixth all-time, and a 59.5 WAR, sixth all-time. And, I think the WAR stats might not have been as sophisticated back then.
Probably.
So his WAR might be a little higher than it even is now. World War II veteran. I think we should definitely put that in there too. World War II vet. Like I said, first ever pinch hit home run in the World Series. He led in RBIs for the Yankees for 8 straight years, Andrew. And I don't know if you've ever heard of these players, but he played with, Mickey Mantle, Luke Gehrig, a couple fucking slap dicks like that, and he led the Yankees in RBIs for 8 straight years. He also caught the only perfect game in World Series history, Don Larson's in 1956. We all remember that. And he was so outstanding of a pitch manager and just a game manager at the catcher's spot. He went ahead and just became a coach too and won a bunch of World Series there too.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean,
whatever, I guess.
Whatever. Just, but no, it's again, I'm gonna throw the stat at you too. I mean, just think about all the All-Star games. Like, yeah, obviously you see guys have a longevity of the All-Star games, but he played in 18 All-Star games from 1948 to 1962. I mean, he made the All-Star game every single year in that span. Like, that's just incredible. That's that the amount of stuff that shows in those years is more than just talent. Like, the longevity of it, the ability to stay healthy and not miss games. Again, the talent obviously there, and that's just what this guy went and did. Like, every day, every game, he was reliable for him. And like you said, the amount of World Series he's had. I mean, to win all those World Series in a 31-year span.
Yeah, hey, catching or not, those World Series are comprehensive.
Yeah, and even he's another guy. He sometimes, I feel like, gets overlooked just because, as you already mentioned, he played with guys like Mickey Mantle, and people look at those guys as, okay, those are the ones that the Yankees had in those days in those World Series. But to not realize who he was is just incredible. And I mean, again, he's another guy I wish he was playing in our time and we could have watched him. But he was just a little bit before our time.
A little bit. All-time short person too.
All-time what?
Short person. He's a tiny man. I need to look up his height right now. Actually, if he's 5'5", I'll be shocked.
I got it for you.
If he's above 5'5", he's shocked. I think he's 5'4".
According to mine, he's 5'7", 185.
No chance. There's no chance he's 5'7". Okay.
According to Baseball Reference, he's 5'7".
So he's probably closer to 5'6", 5'5". Then that's fine.
He's listed at 5'7", so he's really about 5'5".
Okay, so yeah, tiny man, but absolute legend. I'm not a Yankees guy, but what he did, I mean, comprehensive. He is baseball's Bill Russell, is what I could akin to him as. Next, I think the next catcher is probably the closest, or one of the two closest. These next two guys are the next closest to the modern generation. He hit one of the most important home runs in Mets history and in baseball history. It is Mike Piazza.
Lopez wants it away. And it's hit deep to left center. Andrew Jones on the run. This one has a chance. Home run. Mike Piazza and the next lead 3-2.
Mike Piazza is one of the all-time best hitting catchers in the league, and it's steroids or not, because I'm kind of throwing that out in this discussion, Andrew. I'm not gonna lie to you. Mike Piazza, Hall of Famer, did his thing for a really long time. Let's go through the stats, Andrew. 59.6 career WAR, that's fifth all time for catchers. 2,127 hits, seventh all time. 427 home runs, that is first all time for catchers. 427 home runs, Andrew. If you could pull up who's second, I probably have him on this list, but I mean, the number disparity there is high. Like I said, first all time in home runs, 1,335 RBIs, fourth all time for catchers, 308 batting average, which is honestly more impressive than anything I've seen. 308 for a catcher. That is fifth all time, and an OPS of 922, which is technically second of all time, but first right now is Will Smith of the Dodgers. So he has the best OPS of a catcher of all time. It's honestly astounding. I can't get over that 308 average as well as all those numbers. How did he get to the Dodgers, Andrew? Because he had a long career. Started off with the Dodgers. He went 7 years with the Dodgers, 8 years with the Mets, and some stints in Florida, Oakland, and San Diego for 16 years total. Lasorda, Tommy Lasorda, the man we just mentioned earlier. Mike Piazza's dad actually approached Tommy and was like, "Hey, man, can you draft my son?" And Tommy was like, "Sure. Why not?" And he drafted him, and it became an absolute stud. In '97, his peak year on the Dodgers, he hit 362, which, Andrew, I want you to listen to this, Stallion. If a fucking catcher did this now, we would shit our pants. 362, 40 home runs, 124 RBIs, an on-base percentage of 431, and he finished second in MVP that year. 316, 40 home runs is astounding. That is absurd.
Yeah.
Absolutely absurd. He's a 12-time All-Star from 93 to 02, 04, and 05, NL Rookie of the Year in 93, 10-time Silver Slugger, a Hall of Famer in 2006. He lost the 2000 Subway Series. That was his chance for a World Series. He was going up against the tough Mets. He was going up against a tough Yankees team. They were in the midst of a three-peat. And he has an all-time home run with the home run after 9/11, the one we just heard right there. All-time home run in baseball history. And if we want to go to not as all-time things, let's not forget that his bat was the bat that was broken in that 2000 World Series that went back to Roger Clemens, and Roger Clemens threw it back at him, and that whole thing happened. So Mike Piazza, all-time person, a lot of years in baseball, and all-time name too, by the way. Mike Piazza, great name, excellent name, great look too. So shout out to Mike. What are your thoughts on good old Mike?
Yeah, I think he's probably arguably the best hitting catcher of all time. I don't know who you argue with that, but I think he made a name for himself in that way with his offense, and you saw it towards the end of his career when he tried to make it with the back end of those teams, especially the A's, when he kind of focused on DH, how good of a hitter he was. It will go down as one of the best players not to win a ring, unfortunately, but he fully deserved it, and he made a lot of accolades, a big name for himself. Fun fact: him and Tommy Lasorda actually are from a town right by my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually, same town my dad grew up in, Norristown.
Okay, sure.
But no,
I see you claim him.
What?
You claim him.
Hey, when grades are from the state you're from, you gotta claim them.
Okay, good. All right.
But no, I think again, if it's a shame. I don't even know. I know his name's thrown out there with steroids and all that, but I don't know if it's ever been proven he did.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole. There was just rumors, That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
So we could have made way without it, but you had to, drop that in here. But
yeah. I mean, he is the guy you hear about mostly now when it comes to the steroids. Like the steroid guys, like, well, well, fuck, Mike Piazza's in, so why is Barry Bonds not in? Because he was rumored and he was rumored. So I think he was like the first domino to fall in the steroids Hall of Fame thing. So I think he should be just mentioned in that sense as well. You ready for the last catcher, Andrew?
Sure.
Are you gonna go ahead? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right. Well, you have places to be, Andrew. We got 30 minutes, Andrew. We got 30 minutes to get out of here. All right. Lastly, I think this would be Sam's favorite catcher, Andrew. He's been along the block a couple times. It's Pudge.
A line drive out into left field, breaking in. Conine can't get to it. Up with it, the runner's wait. Here's the throw to the plate. Pudge is waiting. He tags and gets knocked over. Holds on, and the Marlins win the game. What a play to end it. A bruising collision at home plate to end this as Jeff Conine throws out J.T. Snow at home plate. And it's the Marlins who have beaten the Giants 7-6, and they're headed to the National League Championship Series.
That is right. Pudge Rodriguez is the last catcher we have on this list.
I got one to add.
Oh, okay, well, we have one more then. Good. 68.7 WAR. That is third all time for catchers. 2,844 hits. That is most all time for a catcher. 311 home runs. Seventh all time. 1,332 RBIs. Fifth of all time. If you caught that, Andrew, by the way, he is 3 RBIs behind Mike Piazza. 3. And significantly less home runs. And he has 64 caught stealings, which is good for fourth all-time, Andrew. He has 14 All-Star appearances from 92 to 01, and then from 04 to 07. World Series champion with the Florida Marlins. The moment we just heard, an all-time moment where Pudge gets fucking blown up at home, but he holds on to the ball and sends the Marlins to the World Series. AL MVP in 1999. I mentioned it earlier. He became the 10th catcher to ever do that. That is, big shit right there to do that, Andrew. If you're to win an MVP as a catcher, 13-time Gold Glove. And that was from 92 to 01, 04, 06, 07. 7-time Silver Slugger, 94 to 99, and then back again in 04. And his 29.6 defensive WAR makes him the best defensive WAR catcher of all time. Andrew, here's a little spoiler alert. I think the only person that can, or one of the only two people that can make a run for Johnny Bench at best catcher is Pudge Rodriguez. Defensively, an absolute stud. One of the best, like I said, defensive catchers of all time. He came into the majors at 19, Andrew. Up in that, like I said earlier, he was a rookie in 92, I believe. I don't remember. But he came in at 19, and till 2006, Andrew, he threw 48% of the batters that ran against him. That is unprecedented to do that as a catcher. In 96, he broke the record for most doubles for a catcher, which has probably already been broken, but at the time he broke that. And in 99, like I said, he was only the 9th ever catcher, unfortunately. The 9th, I said 10th earlier. The 9th catcher to win MVP, and the first since Thurman Munson in 1976. Insane. He took Pudge from Carlton Fisk. We should also count that too. Like I said, he could be the second best catcher of all time.
Absolutely. I think he does give the Johnny Bench the biggest run. And I think it shows you how great he is, where when you hear the name Pudge, you think of Ivan Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Like I already said earlier today, you broke the news to me about Carlton Fisk. So whenever I hear that name, I definitely would always relate it to Rodriguez here. But I think, again, he's one that never gave up on the play. He's one that, I mean, his longevity in his career, as you mentioned, 19 years old, like that's insane.
That is crazy. Could you imagine catching major league pitchers and being like, man, we gotta like try to talk up major league fucking pitchers at 19.
You talk about you having to catch a fast throw from a shortstop there at first. Like, imagine being 19 and you're coming in the league and you got to catch some of these guys who are throwing hard or
That's
these
crazy.
some of the best breaking balls they've seen. Like, and this guy's coming in, he's going to do it like nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he comes in and just acts like he's been in the game for forever in the majors. And again, the All-Star games he was in were incredible. 7-time Silver Slugger, NLCS MVP, World Series champion. He's probably the best. I mean, we even get to see like his good part of the career, but he probably is the best of our lifetime without question. As we already mentioned, and I don't know if you're gonna find a catcher that's better than this. And again, unfortunately, it was probably that we only really get to remember the back half of his career, but I mean, to be able to beat the offensive stats and the defensive stats he was able to do, I don't know if we'll ever see like a better catcher in our lifetime, quote unquote, like by years.
Yeah, I was doing the research on this, and at first I was like, going back and forth, Piazza, Pudge, just the best defensive catcher or then the best offensive catcher, and you go back and forth, and it's really like Pudge's offense really does keep up with Piazza, and like we said, he's the best catcher of all time offensively, and if he's keeping up with him there and bringing me arguably the best arm in catching history, I'll fucking take that.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
no problem.
Yeah, while the offense might be close, the defense is what gives them the edge.
Yeah. Let's move on to yours. I didn't know that you were gonna bring one. I'm interested to see who.
I'm sorry.
No, please tell me who it is.
No, I got two. I think they're big. The two really ones that I feel like have been the bigger names of our lifetime that we actually remember playing outside of Buster Posey. First one is Joe Mauer.
Sure, I was going to put Joe, but I just didn't think he stacked up, to be honest.
I mean, is he stack up against some of those other names? Absolutely not. But like you threw Buster Posey because of recency. I feel like we gotta get some other catchers from our lifetime in there.
He's the first base. What are you talking about? Half his career is at first now, unfortunately. Too.
Oh, he won 3 Gold Gloves at catcher.
Yeah, most, but he was the most recent catcher to win MVP. I believe it was 2012, and that would probably make him the 10th or 11th. So yeah, he deserves to be on this list, I suppose. But yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, I mean, again, did it both ways: 3-time Gold Glove, 6-time All-Star, won an MVP, 5-time Silver Slugger, and 3-time batting title. I'm gonna give him some recognition.
Good, he definitely deserves it. These are like honorable mentions, and I really
I came with the honorable mention list.
Okay, he was on my. I actually have it written down. Joe Mauer honorable mention, so I'm glad. I'll give you 2 honorable mentions as well then.
And the last one, Yadier Molina, arguably the best best defensive catcher we've ever seen.
Yeah,
like full on career wise. I mean, 4-time Platinum Glove winner, 9-time Gold Glove winner.
He is the reason why Buster Posey does not have Gold Gloves.
Yes, he is the catcher we were talking about earlier.
Yes, he is the reason why Buster Posey doesn't have Gold Gloves, and he. After it's all, actually, he's not a better defensive catcher than Pudge. Defensive WAR said so. But I think there's a little bit of the Derek Jeter effect with him too. At some point we're just give him the Gold Glove already, man. He earned it, like he earned it for the last 10 years. Just give it to him. But offensively, he's just not that guy. Defensively, for sure. He can
don't undercut his offense. Like, yeah, it's not Pudge good, but like it's not bad.
I'm undercutting.
Okay.
Prime Yachty was awesome defensively. The best thrower of a baseball from the catcher position I've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. My 2 I guess honorable mentions here. They're 2 old men. Roy Campanella, he definitely deserves to be on here. The olds will murder us if we don't mention his name. And Thurman Munson, the guy who previously won MVP as a catcher, also deserves to be on this list. So we've got all of them out there. Let's talk about criteria. We were supposed to talk about this in the beginning, but let's get to it. What makes a catcher great, Andrew? What do you want in your catcher every day from your team? What makes you happy when you watch JT Realmuto catch? He's the gold standard right now. What does he do that everyone else doesn't?
I'd say the biggest thing is his ability to provide on the defensive end. Like, I don't think people realize how big catchers are to the defense. They're the play caller. They're giving out the signs. They're controlling what the kind of game the pitcher's going to go with. They're the game manager there. So I need a guy that's able to get along with the pitchers. I need a guy that's able to be a good game caller. He can keep the command of the pitchers. If a pitcher's struggling, he's able to settle them down. I need a guy that's able to. I mean, I need a guy that's gonna be able to block some wild pitches here and there. For me personally, as much as much as we love offense and stuff, for a catcher, I'm looking a little more on the defensive side, and then looking at the offensive end after that. Just because if I'm building a team, I'm trying to get my offense from other positions. So catcher wise, to me, I'm looking around a 260 to 270 hitter with very good defense.
I actually said kind of the same thing. Offense is a luxury when it comes to the catcher position. I mean, really, like we said, there really isn't that two-way like awesome catcher every year. Like JT's the closest thing we have to it now, and he's been great. What was his stats last year? Let's look that up real fast. I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
I think he finished like 272 around there, hitting wise.
Okay, let's see. I've got it right here. He had 266 with 840 OPS, 32 RBIs, 11 home runs, and last year in a full season, 25 home runs, 83 RBIs, 275 with an 820 OPS. I said in my ideal world, and I wrote down here, I want my catchers hitting above 275, ideally, hitting at least 800 OPS. And a 20 home run pace would be awesome. And it just defensively, I would love for you to be. I mean, that's just a bonus in my book. You're kind of went the opposite way, and I'm going. You went defense. I'm going offense. I want that offensive catcher. And since stealing and just getting people active on the base pass hasn't been. I don't know. It's just been not as popular because
that's fair.
The stats of saying you don't want to waste a runner. Why even steal a base when you can hit a home run? Blah blah blah. That's the kind of math that's coming into it. So we don't see as many stolen bases. So I'm willing to concede on the defensive side if I can really get that offensive catch. Like for example, if you could pick one of these catchers to be on the Phillies to replace JT, who would you pick?
Are the guys we just talked about, or
yeah?
Oh, I was waiting for you to name guys right now.
Of the guys we just talked about.
I'm probably gonna go. I mean, Johnny Bench. I already said is pretty much clear cut number one. So I either go Johnny Bench or Pudge.
I think I'm picking Piazza. I think I'm picking Piazza. Like I said, I don't need a defensive wizard. I really don't. We're not.
But you do. You don't realize how many runs that saves.
I mean, again, people aren't stealing as much, Andrew. We don't see steals happen that often. The only time we really saw it happen this year was in the World Series, and it definitely made a difference there, for sure.
But the same thing with blocking a ball, too, though. You saw that in the playoffs. This catcher's going to block a ball, and it lets a guy get the second, and the next batter hits him in.
Hey, I'll take my chances with Mike Piazza, I guess, blocking balls, I suppose. But you're right about that. Blocking balls is just as important. And you can't even underestimate the ability to work a staff. Being able to call pitches, do all that stuff. That's honestly just as important as hitting.
So
I think my rankings would be Piazza. I don't want Johnny Bench. I don't know why. I just kind of like marked him off my list, to be honest, because I don't know. He's just too good.
All right, so he's clear cut number one, so he's off the list.
I think for this, Andrew, I think we should just establish Johnny Bench. He's number one. He just has to be.
Absolutely,
is the guy. I think we should just now settle on number two. So we've got Bench at number one because we're heading into the final stretch here. I want to get our rankings in here. So congratulations, Johnny Bench. You're the gold standard of catcher. You knew this for years now, but you're the best catcher of all time. That's why he was on the all-time teams, all-century team. But who's number two, Andrew? Who's your second best catcher of all
Ivan Rodriguez. Ivan Pudge Rodriguez.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there, Andrew. I'm gonna pick.
Oh,
Oh,
you're gonna agree with me, but you're picking Mike Piazza over two guys you just say is better.
Yes. I know. Mike Piazza. Pudge has had the better. Pudge had a better career. What do you want me to do, Andrew? But if I'm telling you right now, if I'm making a team, I'm taking Piazza just because I need the defense to be just like average to good.
No average defender.
That's fine. I'll take that too. But Piazza's home run and his ability to the long ball in this time of day now, Andrew, I'll take that every day. I'll take it. So we'll take that at number 2. And here's really what's going to piss you off, Andrew, because Piazza's not even my number 3. I'm going to take Yogi Berra as my number 3. He like we said, 8 years straight leading the Yankees in RBIs when he had literally some of the greatest players of all time playing beside him. He created a lot of he has his own on his Wikipedia page. He has his own section called Yogiisms. Apparently, he is credited with coining "It ain't over till it's over," and he's literally a manager on the field. You can find quotes about his pitchers saying like, "There's no one I'd rather pitch to. He just knows how to set up hitters well." Blah blah blah. He's got a winning culture mindset. Like I said, I think being able to manage a staff and handle the pitchers and bring the best out of them is just as important as anything else. So I'll take Johnny at number 1. I'll take Pudge at number 2, and I'll take Yogi at 3.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on this one. I agree with those 3.
Okay, wow.
I just, again, I think Mike Piazza's defense really hurts him for the overall ranking portion of this. So I think that is a big knock on his part. Everyone always talks about that, how he was strictly just mainly a hitting catcher and everything. And I mean, as much as you want to put someone from this modern era in, I just don't think you can.
Yeah, you really
can. So it's going to come down to Yogi Berra. And I mean, I think the longevity he was able to provide in his career, again, not a bad two-way player and multiple championships. As good as all these catchers were, I feel like the top 3 wasn't that hard to pick, if that makes sense.
Like I said, I went back and forth between Piazza and Pudge, but yeah, I think you were right at the end of the day. I really think this top 3 of Bench, Pudge, Berra really solidifies it. Would Piazza be your number 4, Andrew, or would you put Gary Carter there? I think I'm putting Carter there. So I think I might change my mind. I might take Gary Carter over Piazza. I guess I don't know. The Piazza's fallen.
I'm taking Mike Piazza, but he's not even top 5 catcher.
The Piazza's fallen far on my list now. That's hilarious. So is Gary Carter or Piazza? Who you got right there? I think I'm taking Carter now.
I'm gonna take. Could you take Carlton Fisk? You're just rolling him out. Yeah. I'm tempted. I'm tempted. What's that?
I'd rather have Piazza than Fisk.
Why's that?
I mean, like I said, just better hitter, and Fisk, a good defensive catcher. If he's also in the top 10 for caught stealings, but I think, oh boy, there we go. I think the Piazza's offensive output. I think that's the line. I think that he eclipses Fisk there.
How many home runs did you say Mike Piazza hit?
Mike Piazza in his career, I have it written down.
He had 427.
Yeah, 427 most all time for a catcher. And
then he had what? He had 1,335 RBIs.
Yes, and like I said,
so he only had 5 more RBIs than Carlton Fisk. He had pretty good. He had about 49 more home runs in him. Man, I think I'm taking Carlton Fisk at 4 or 5. I don't think Mike Piazza is a top 5 catcher.
Well, okay. Well, that's.
I think I'm gonna go. Obviously, I already said it. I'm gonna go bench Rodriguez, Yogi Berra, and then I think between 4 or 5, I'm leaning Gary Carter or Carlton Fisk, and then Piazza at 6.
Wow, what a slanderous afternoon for Mike Piazza. It's funny.
I'm not giving him slander. I'm just saying when you're going all time, defense hurts him a little bit.
You're right. Hey. We're splitting hairs here. This is the greatest catchers of all time. When we're splitting these kind of hairs, This is what we have to do, Andrew. This is a fun episode, Andrew. We've made it all the way to the end of this episode. You've had a long day, and I'm excited to see what else you have to do today.
Yeah, I'm ready to keep going on these positions. I think it's fun. I think this is some of the better episodes we're going to be able to do here, and I'm excited to jump into the next couple positions because I think there's going to be some pretty good debates in the future.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. We need to survive this winter without baseball, and since no one wants to sign anyone besides the Mets and the Padres, this is what we got to do.
Mhm.
This is what we got to do. Do you have anything to plug before we get out of here, Andrew?
Of course, you can check me out on Twitter at AJ_Santangelo. Other podcasts I do, True_Philly Sports Now, and Chasing the Pennant with my Philly friends that you guys got to see, and Joe and Sean when they were on here in the past.
Shout out to Joe and Sean. Shout out to them as always. Appreciate them. Appreciate everyone that listened as well. This was a fun episode. We're coming at you guys once a week until baseball comes back. We'll be back on Tuesday as of now, where we get busy. We hop around, but we'll be back one episode a week for this whole year. We said it. We're going to stick to it. The first week was a little dicey here.
Absolutely.
Got it.
That's my fault, but
We got it done. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. See you guys.